Hi, I'm Devin Varner with Varner Equipment in Delta, Colorado. I was going to talk to you today about our new McHale V640 round balers that we have in stock. This is a baler that doesn't have a lot of name recognition in this area that we're at, and a lot of people ask me, what is the baler? Is it a good quality baler? Will it bale the hay that we want? Will it compare to John Deere? Will it compare to Vermeer? Will it compare to Massey Ferguson? This is a very high quality, high-end round baler that comes out of Ireland. McHale has a fixed chambered and a variable chambered baler. In our area here, there's very few people that run around with a fixed chambered baler. So this V640 is a variable chambered baler. We do very little with the fixed chambered. There is such thing as a V660 that has a couple differences from this one. The 660 has a chopper unit in it right down in the stuffer drive area. And then the V660 also has an auto lube feature that the 640 does not. This baler is a very high-end, high bale count, low maintenance type baler that you could look at. When you talk to McHale and ask them what the pros to their baler, what makes their baler better, it's the design of the actual baler itself. This has a stuffer chamber, or a true stuffer in it that's right above your pickup, that grabs the hay right out of the pickup and forces it up into the chamber of the baler. With McHale, they're going to run these 3 big wide belts across the baler. So instead of having multiple small belts, you have 3 big belts. That they do have an option of running a single belt too. The single belt usually is more of a specialty crop like hemp or something like that. But you can use the single belt on hay as well. But most of our hay ones are these triple belts. McHale will tell you that their baler set up the way it is. These are a seamless belt, Kevlar belt. They will tell you that as long as that belt is not punctured or torn off, they will get close to 100,000 bales out of one set of belts on it, and they will do the same out of the baler. So a lot of our competitors' balers that you see, that you are seeing them with 10, 15, 20,000 bales through them, and they are showing significant signs of wear, whether it be on the belts, whether it be on the drive units, whether it be on the rollers, wherever that problem may lie. This baler is meant to take up to, like I said, or not up to, but around 100,000 bales before you got to go in and start doing major repairs to it. I've had a lot of guys ask me that seamless belt. What do we want to do with that seamless belt whenever that belt breaks? That is a tremendous belt that's in there. They do wear out, they do break from time to time. It is no small job to change them. You do have to unbolt the rollers, and then you can usually loosen them on one side, unbolt them on the other, move a roller out of the way, and then put the new belt on. But for most of the time, that belt is a trouble-free belt. It is good. The belt can take up to a puncture or a rip up to 1/3 of the way across the belt. If that happens, you just get your knife, kind of cut a radius around that, or if it's a long tear down it, you get a drill bit and drill at each end, and it's just as good to run that even with that little puncture or that spot cut out of the belt. It ain't gonna affect the belt in any way, shape, or form. This is the back chamber of the baler, the actual bale chamber, and I was gonna show a couple of the things that McHale has on this baler that a lot of other balers don't have. One, McHale has these big wide belts. These are those big wide belts that we were talking about, that this belt can take up to 1/3 of the way across that, a rip in that then you could just grab your pocket knife and radius that out, and it would be just fine. You can run it the same as it is on a normal belt. You can also deal with a long split down the middle of the belt by just taking a drill bit and drilling the end of that split to stop it. It'll work the same way. The baler will work and function just as it's supposed to. When you look inside the chamber, I'm going to see if we can get a picture of it. You can see the little green flighted auger in there, the flighted roller. There's also another one back here above my head. This baler has cleaning augers in it that are cleaning rollers, I guess I should say, to help clean the chaff and clean it out of the rollers to keep it out from building up on top of the belts. It's to clean everything in, get it in and out of there. It's just got a spring assisted drop ramp door on it. And then another very nice feature that this baler has that very few balers will have, this has replaceable sides. These are a bolt-on skin that goes right inside here where your 90% of your wear in a baler will take place. Right here, this is a bolt-in replaceable piece on a McHale baler. This baler also runs an auto lube system on it. It's not the, I said an auto lube system on the chains. This one has a grease. You got to go around and it's got actual grease blocks to grease all the bearings. The 660 has an auto grease function that every time you open the rear gate and close the rear gate, it automatically greases the baler. The net wrap comes into a McHale baler up on the front, and it is stored up on the front, and then it's also loaded into the baler from the front side. Very easy to use baler, very easy to maintain baler. This baler has a drop floor in it, and in the videos that we showed you here, I come down this one row, we were doing close to 13 miles an hour. When we came by with that, I was trying to plug the baler up. This is a corrugated field, and it's a rough riding sucker in there, but I could not get this baler to plug up. It took everything I threw out in a pretty decent windrow of hay. It would take that. It made in one row from the start to finish, it made one of these bales. This bale will weigh about 1,700 pounds in a 4x5. I've got one up there that's going to be a little bit heavier. I think that bale is going to weigh about 1,900 pounds in a 4x5.5. This baler has a drop floor in it. The reason I was trying to plug it is to actually show what that drop floor will do. You can plug the pickup on the baler, and the slip clutch will actually break away on the drive line, and you can back up. You drop the floor out of the bottom of the stuffer chamber of the baler, and then you turn the PTO back on, and it will suck that entire plug up into the baler, and then you raise that drop floor back up and you head right off to baling again. We have done that when we are rebaling a bale. If we had a bale that didn't tie right, or a bale that was a bad bale or a half bale or whatever the thing may be, we rolled them out till we got down to about a 20 to 24 inch core, and then we drove right over the top of it and threw it in the baler with that big core in there, not even completely rolled out. And it'll do the same thing. You might suck it up in there and it'll hit the drop floor, or it'll hit it and it'll plug it, and then you can drop the floor on and it'll suck that whole big wad of hay right up into the chamber. We did that with some green hay, with some really green wet hay. It'll suck it right in there, absolutely no problem. The guys that I've got that are baling hemp with it, when they go to rebale a bale of hemp, it has a tendency to be really tied together. So once the baler just starts to grab the first pound of hay, it grabs the whole thing and pulls it under it like a rug, and it'll plug it up. Same thing, you can drop the floor and it'll suck it right in there, and away it goes. I tried to show two different things with this little video that we're showing today with this particular bale. I went pretty slow on the one bale up there because I was trying to make almost as heavy a bale as I can make with that baler and the hay we're in today. The hay we're in today is pretty dry, so I don't know if I could get it up as heavy as I wanted it to be, but I was trying to make it so I can make a heavy bale and prove to some people. I've had a lot of guys come in and ask me a question of, I got a 5x6 baler and I'm looking at yours in a 4x5.5. I don't want that 4x5.5. I want a 5x6 because I want to make the biggest bale I can possibly make. The argument to that question, or the argument to that statement, would be, if we can get a 4 foot by 5.5 foot round bale to come in and weigh the same or more than a 5x6 bale, wouldn't you rather have the 4 foot wide bale to be able to haul them? This baler will do that. This baler will build as heavy a bale as any 5x6 baler on the market will. You can kick it right up there, and this one will put it across the scale at the same weight. That's a pretty stout claim to make, but it's one that we will demo against any baler. If you have a baler that you say, this baler here will out-baler that McHale baler anytime, call us and let us know. We would like to bring this baler right up to you, and we'll bale right alongside of any baler that you got, and we would not be scared to put her up there to show you what this baler will do. This bale was baled at a real high speed with a fairly large volume of hay coming through it. It has an extremely solid core. Very, very hard core on it. I mean, like, it'll be hard to spear that bale. It's actually going to be hard to get a spear in that. It might even be hard to get a spear off of it. Very good looking bale. It's a very clean bale on the outside, and it is a net wrapped bale. McHale does everything with net wrap. They do nothing with twine. The whole idea behind our video to show this today is we wanted to give a little bit of name recognition to McHale. We wanted to show what this baler will actually do. And down the line, this season, next season, if you have some hay that you want to bale, if you're considering buying a new baler and you're looking at other brands of balers, give us a shot. Give us a chance to come out and show you what this baler can actually do for you. I think you'll be very impressed with it if you do. I'm Devin Varner from Varner Equipment, 970-874-0612. Thank you.
Videos like this, make sure to subscribe. Bye.